What's going on, people? Back with a bang. This is the Money Management, back here to bring you guys another video today. So in this video, I'll review a couple of the trades we took this past week, look ahead to the upcoming week and see what stocks I'm watching. Also review the earnings because there's a few different stocks I am looking at ahead of this week's earnings. And then at the end, I'm going to touch on a little bit of cryptocurrency. So to begin with, let's just talk about which earnings are being reported this week, which I have my eye on. First up, tomorrow after close, we have PayPal and Palantir. PayPal, I'm just kind of want to see what, where they are at right now. And then Palantir, mainly I'm just looking to see if there's more downside. On to Tuesday, after hours, we've got Airbnb, Rivian, Affirm, and Upstart. That is definitely going to be a big day. Pre-market Tuesday, you also have EVGO for the electric vehicle sector. Then moving on to Wednesday, it also gets really interesting. Tuesday and Wednesday are the really interesting days. Wednesday before open, you have Roblox and also Wendy's, which was a meme stock. But I'll definitely have my eye on Roblox. And then after hours, shout out Shonoff because we have Disney and Beyond Meat and Robinhood as well. Then Thursday, JD pre-market is the only one I'm really looking at. And after hours Thursday and Friday, there's not really anything that's interesting me. So here I am on Yahoo Finance. As you can always do, just go and click on read through articles. Here you got Disney, the one I just talked about being mentioned. So you might want to go read through this article. As I just said as well, cryptocurrency is something I'll be looking at towards the end of this video. So we'll mention that as well. But yeah, you have websites like Yahoo Finance, CNBC, where you can review this kind of stuff, just so you guys know. Now let's jump into the trading view so we can kind of talk about some stocks that I looked at this week, stocks I traded this week, and take it from there. So let me just jump back to the home page. Actually, you know what? Let's just start with Tesla. We landed on Tesla. Let's start with Tesla. So I'm going to pull up Tesla 1 hour chart to show you why. Tesla through this week was pretty stagnant. And what happened Friday? Zoom, off it took. And this can happen with any stock, honestly. But Tesla jumped 6% on Friday. And it's now broken above the moving averages, now showing clearly bullish momentum. If you look at the daily chart of Tesla as well, we're getting just above that moving average. So I will be watching Tesla this upcoming week. This past week, I didn't actually trade it. What I did trade this week was Exxon. Now, I traded Exxon to the upside. As you can see, that didn't go very well, let's be honest. This arrow was pointing to a very critical point. If it pushed above, we would see it fly up to 119. If it broke below, we would see it tank, and it broke below. So I took 119 calls for Exxon, and the next day I had to cut those because I was planning to swing. But look, the good thing is now we have plenty of upside. It looks like it's just managed to start uptrending again. I'll keep it on my radar, keep my eyes out on it. But when it starts moving up, guys, we have a $10 gain to look at. So ExxonMobil is definitely on the watch list. Moving on to AMD, Advanced Micro Devices. I traded this week. A little bit of a tough week for me. AMD, I also traded to the upside, but it looks like I was slightly too early. I traded to the upside ahead of earnings. Let me just zoom in so you can see. And unfortunately, I sold it before earnings, but unfortunately, it dropped at earnings and then pushed up afterwards. So let me show you Friday so you can see how crazy this was. And this is the problem. There you go, Friday. Jumped up $3, but just look at the way it happened. Right out of the gate, just went crazy. Straight out of the gate, boom. Out of the gate, it jumped like $4 and then eventually traded up to about $90 before selling off. I have AMD on my watch list as well for the calls. Again, similar to Tesla, it's breaking above the moving average. It finally closed above the moving average Friday, especially after it wicked through the moving averages Thursday. But yeah, we got that close. It looked like I was too early with my AMD calls as well, which was a bit unfortunate. One trade I did hit it off of this week was Nvidia. And can you guess which way I traded Nvidia? You'll be surprised, but I traded it to the downside. So it's that little drop here, which you can look at in better detail. This little drop here. Let me get the 1 hour chart for you guys so you can see what I traded with Nvidia. So Thursday I traded Nvidia. You can see it was trading below the moving average on the 1 hour chart. It pulled all the way down to 272.20. I had the 272.50 put, so once my contracts were in the money and it started uptrending again, I decided to sell out. A stock that drops off that quickly is going to rebound and start uptrending again soon enough, it's very rare that it's just going to continue dropping. Here, look at the crazy red candle and then a green candle to respond. That is nuts. So yeah, like I said, traded Nvidia to the downside. That was good. Managed to make about 80% on that. And that was honestly the best play I had this week. It didn't go that well as I wanted. I mean, I think some of my setups I was just a little bit too early. Some maybe a little bit too impatient. But the most important thing is that I learned from what I traded and learned from my mistakes this week. So looking ahead to this coming week, Roblox. Let's zoom out and see what Roblox is doing. So Roblox has been on the downtrend very clearly. It's just been putting itself to the downside. So last time around with earnings, Roblox actually jumped up super high. So I'm not a betting man. If you were to bet what Roblox would do this time, don't bet. That's all I can say. Don't bet. Because, hey, it's been dropping, could tank further or could jump up again. What I would do is trade the continuation. That's what I'll do, trade a continuation. Last time, 14th Feb, Valentine's Day, had enough steam to continue going during that day. So yeah, like I said, I would trade a continuation. Until then, I'll watch from a distance, watch from afar. Now, moving on to the next stock to watch. Showing off again, Disney one time. So let's zoom out. First thing I'm going to do, daily chart, zoom out. It's clearly been bearish over the last year or so. Clearly struggled to break the 200-day moving average. Every time it does, it starts to tank off. One thing I would just want to note with Disney is last time I had earnings back here. Let's see what it did. One thing to note. Oh, it dropped heavily last time. Dropped heavily. So, doesn't mean it's going to drop heavily again, but it does mean you just need to keep this on your radar. And again, what I would do is let it consolidate until the day it's reporting her earnings. And then I would trade the continuation of earnings. Sure enough, again, shout out to this guy. He has made over 2,500% on Disney this week. Just by being patient, just by using his strategy, and then swinging it. So yeah, Disney, like I said, I'll wait to see what happens. Last time I had earnings, sold off like crazy. Time before that, sold off like crazy. So twice in a row, it's sold off crazy. Could happen again. But hey, it could also do something we don't expect. That is what earnings is about. I'd rather just keep this on my radar and just kind of, again, trade a continuation. It's a pretty simple strategy, right? I'm saying the same thing every time. Trade the continuation, trade the continuation. Next up, we're going to go with Affirm. Shout out Supreme for this one, Mr. Affirm. 18% jump on Friday. Let me just show you how that looks on a 15-minute chart. It looks like this, a skyrocket. So what does that mean? We're getting some bullish momentum going into earnings week for Affirm. Until now, it's been trending below the moving average for a few months in a row. Now it's seeing a push up on a daily chart. On a weekly chart, it's still bearish. And on a 4-hour chart, clearly showing bullish signs. So with Affirm, I do feel like this will pull back a little bit because it has just shot up 18% in a day. I think it might pull back to that 1039 level. Once it does, I will look to see what it does before getting into the calls. I think this is picking up steam ahead of earnings. So it's a good sign, honestly. Last earnings, it dropped heavily. Earnings before that also dropped heavily. So again, once again, back-to-back earnings where it sold off like crazy. I wouldn't go into earnings thinking, I'm going to trade calls overnight. I might trade calls until the earnings, but an overnight holds? No, I don't think so. And then let's go on to the next one, which is going to be Airbnb. And actually, I think that's going to be the last of the earnings plays that I look at. Then I go back to my usual stocks. So Airbnb has actually managed to gain since the beginning of the year. That is actually impressive because I remember it being under $100. Shout out Miyagi on this one, talking about the long-term shares. Airbnb, looking at the chart now, this is just too erratic for me. It does look like it's starting to pick up some bullish momentum. But yeah, this one, I want to see how this earnings pans out. Because last earnings, it jumped up. Earnings before that, it tanked. So again, I'm just intrigued to see what the earnings does, and then I'll trade a continuation. Now back to my regular stocks. Nvidia, let's go first. So what do you think I'm trading with Nvidia? Well, I can tell you, calls going to the upside. We're trying to break those highs. I think it's been a while since Nvidia was at these levels. It was last at this level just over a year ago. So I'm trying to break those highs with Nvidia this week. Tech stocks do like to push up and then, sell off after they've picked up a lot of steam. So just beware of that. But I'll definitely look at getting Nvidia calls. I would not be surprised if it does pull back before pushing up again. But as you saw with AMD on Friday, and also with Nvidia actually, when they get going, they can really move. They can really move. Look at Nvidia. Nvidia just went, oh wow. Yep, $11 gain. $13 gain at the highest. That is pretty immaculate. One thing I did want to point out is 2 stocks I had on my watch list last week. 2 stocks I mentioned on my YouTube video and also in the Discord in my watch list. Shopify was one, and the other one was Amazon. Let's start with Shopify. So what did I state for Shopify? Monday pre-market, I stated for Shopify. There's so much upside potential here. The upside potential outweighs the downside potential. I told you guys about the momentum it had in 2020 and 2021, and that it's looking to find that back. And I also said my price target for Shopify is $54. So let's look at it in depth. Shopify this week. Gosh, you have to really, this is 5-minute chart, no wonder. 1 hour chart. All right, here we go. Shopify in depth. Why did I mention these on my watch list? Hey, look at that. I said I was looking for the break above the moving averages on the daily chart. That's exactly what it did. Pushed up way past my price target of $54 and eventually hit $62. This is crazy. I said I like this for long-term shares. Well, guess what? You had bought those long-term shares, you'd already be up about 15% at the price points I mentioned. That was back when it was around $46, $47. Just shows if you do your research, you do your trading practice and chart, all that kind of stuff, you're bound to hit off some plays. Amazon was another one I mentioned. This one bounced off my support level on Tuesday. Exactly, it jumped all the way down to my exact level I had pointed out. I told you that after last week's jump, or last week's jump of 12% in just about 2 minutes, I was expecting to see a drop all the way to $101. And that's exactly what it did. Now I'm telling you right now, Amazon, long term, I like the potential. I like the price point it's at right now. It has jumped up about $4 in this last few trading days, but there's still so much upside potential to it. So just make sure you guys keep those on your radar. So that is mainly it for those stocks. Now let's jump into the crypto sector. That's what I've been looking at this weekend. I'm going to start with Dino. Dino was on a good run. Check the 5-minute chart, had a good weekend, and it's just been selling off now. If it can hold around the 200 moving average and start pushing up again, I'll be looking to get some Dino. If you want to know how to get Dino, come and check out the Discord. There's a free crypto section there. We give out tips on how to get crypto and just kind of discuss that between us. Also, Mong, M-O-N-G, 5-minute chart as well, hanging around the 9-day moving average. And I'm waiting to see this. I think it's going to fall down a little bit more, down to around 227 level there before we start rising again. So just beware of that, please. As always, none of this is financial advice. Just beware of everything that's happening with these crypto stocks. They have their periods. They definitely have their periods. Bitcoin's selling off a little bit. Ethereum's doing a little bit better than yesterday, but also selling off a bit. And as I mentioned before, guys, all the stocks I mentioned, all the cryptos I mentioned, none of it is financial advice. I'm just talking based on what I see, based on what I want to do. And that is it. Lastly, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please show some support. Just drop a thumbs up. I really do appreciate those kind of things. And as always, just drop a comment as well. Let me know your thoughts on the video. Let me know your thoughts on the stock market as well. And then if you're new around here, please make sure to hit the red button, subscribe to the channel. It really does help me in a great way. I can't ask for anything more than that. It is completely free. So please just drop a thumbs up and also subscribe. And as I mentioned in the Discord, right? Come check out the Discord, the Royal Trading Academy. We talk about stocks there. We break down the stocks. We live trade. We do all that. And much more. We do all of that in the Discord. So come check it out. And lastly but not least, check out the Stock Option Starter Pack. You guys know the deal with that one. 10 videos. You'll have access to those for life. For life. So come and check us out. As always, we're helping people. We're trying to teach people. We're trying to get you guys learning so you can fish for yourself for the rest of your lives. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. That is it from me. I've got money making. You got money making. See you guys next time for another video. Peace. Game.